In here. All right. Hello and welcome to our family engagement presentation on internet safety. So raising digital citizens, internet safety for kids starts now. So to get us started, some introductions. Let's make sure, there we go. So it's wonderful to see all of you. I am Mrs. Michelle Boyce. I am the third grade teacher here at NIA. And with me today,
I am Mrs. Abir Fasha, the special education provider at Noor International and Star International Academy.
So we are all parents and educators, and one of the biggest things that we want is what's best for our kids. And the reality is technology is part of our culture, part of our lives, part of our day-to-day existence. And so we want to share with you today why internet safety and the responsible use of technology is so important for kids. So we really have three major goals for our session today. The first is to understand the online risks that our kids face, because they do, and they're pretty serious. We want to learn some practical tools and strategies to help protect our kids. And we also want to build healthy habits around the technology in our homes because it's not going anywhere. So we need to learn the habits that are going to actually help us. So that is what we are here to do today. Okay. So did you know that the earlier kids go online, the earlier they face risks, right? Once they're online, they are facing a lot of serious risks. Because they have access to all the people who are online. So over 90% of children aged 5 to 11 use the internet every single day, every day. Whether it's for school, they're playing games, they're watching videos. The internet is just, it's a part of our daily lives. And that comes from Common Sense Media, which we'll talk a little bit about them. They're a really great resource for helping parents and families navigate internet safety. So they face risks. Inappropriate content, of course, is one of the big ones, right? We as parents are always trying to make sure that our kids aren't seeing inappropriate content. Online predators, and that's, I think, one of the scariest ones that we face out there. Scams and fake links, and this has become worse and worse as time goes on, and they've gotten really good at making stuff look like it's real. And then just unsafe social interactions, especially with their peers. Not as bad at the elementary level, but as they get older, it becomes more and more of a risk. So the habits that we start with, those are the habits that are going to stick. So how we start with them when they're young like this makes a big difference in the long run. So this is some information that Ms. Fasho helped pull up for us about the amount of time that children are spending on screens, and also kind of what they're watching, especially on YouTube. Did you want to speak more about that, Ms. Fasho?
Just like the percentage that you see, sometimes you get amazed by the ages because it's age 11 and younger. And you see the total of time that they spend on the internet. So that becoming like the entertainment that parents tend to go to so they can be able to do their work or finish stuff. But it's a healthy habits that we're building with our kids, because whatever habits they build at young age is going to go with them. So let's watch out how we can help our children get engaged by reducing the internet and giving them more creative activities to do. It will help them more.
Yeah, quite a bit. So we're going to start today talking a little bit more about the online risks. So we'll start with the safety portion of this. YouTube especially, okay? YouTube, I know as an educator, I pull up educational videos, right, for my students to watch. I've seen it, like there's some amazing stuff available on YouTube. There's also a lot of really inappropriate content. and ads, harmful content. And while I'll speak more about it later, I know for my own son, my son's in 3rd grade right now too. So I'm not only a parent I'm not only a teacher of 3rd grade, but I'm also a parent of a 3rd grader as well. And the behavior changes I've seen in my own child versus when he watches YouTube or not watching YouTube, even YouTube Kids, what you think is okay, YouTube Kids get stuff snuck in there that is just...
Especially with ads.
With the ads.
Especially with ads. They try to get your kids with the ads.
And the autoplay.
Oh, yeah.
Autoplay. You start with something great, and then next thing you know, you're like, what am I watching here? Yeah. And what is my kid watching? So that autoplay can be really, really harmful. Roblox is really popular with our kids right now. It is very, very popular, but Roblox there's a lot of risk there because there's a lot of uncontrolled social contact, and Roblox opens them up to chatting with strangers. There are fake games, there's inappropriate avatars, there's all kinds of stuff in Roblox that's putting our kids at risk. Similar style of gameplay, but a little bit better. Minecraft can be a great game for creativity if you're playing it alone. But the moment you get on those servers, and especially public servers, again, you've got people who they can get malware onto your computer. They can have inappropriate comments, in conversations with your children. You need to watch who they're playing with. Like my son plays Minecraft, he loves it, but he plays it by himself. He is not hooked up to the internet for Minecraft. It is a solo game for him. So he can be creative, he can build, he can do all of that good stuff that comes with it without the risk of the online communication. So that's a really big one for us with that. In terms of, sorry, this isn't super, okay. When you do send your kids online, because they're going to go online, one of the things we have to do as parents is make sure that we are informing our children that there are certain things they should never, ever share with anybody. Their full name, their address, their school name, and their phone number, because those are all things that people can use to look up your child. And a lot of our data is available online. So if they're able to look up your child, they are going to be able to find out more about them. And then predators can use that information, whether they're trying to prey on them financially or prey on them socially or in another inappropriate way. They can use that information to get more information, which will make them seem like somebody they can trust. Because they can fool you by saying, oh, I'm a member of your school community. I know this and that. And they'll list all these things they know about you because they did their research.
And some things we always tend to share a lot is photos, pictures of our children, and we get excited. We need to be careful when we post pictures of our kids, pictures of us doing things, because predators tend to look for that specific area to be able to get your information, your child information, and start like bullying or, taking any information from them. So let's be careful when we post and try to make it more private and more like family, so they will not be able to, and don't allow your kids to share photos, because that's a big one.
Yeah, especially if you don't know what's in the photo. There can be things you don't even think about.
Yeah.
Like you're in front of your house and you don't even realize, but there's your street address, right? On your house. Maybe those numbers are visible. So we want to make sure, especially not in their school uniforms, because it tells everybody where they go to school. So they know the area they live in. Passwords are something else we need to make sure kids never ever share, except with parents. You should know all of their passwords. At this age especially, they should not have any passwords that you don't know, because you need to be able to log into any of their devices and any of their online platforms at any time to see what's going on.
Using the stop sign for teaching the kids, using the stop sign like red, don't, that's something you're not supposed to, and green, that's something that is safe that you can do. It's a good strategy to use to help your kids understand how to stay safe when they are on the internet.
Yep. And so, and some things just ask first, like if it's a friend from school and they want to share something with them, come and ask you. That way you can verify, yes, that is actually a friend at your school and not just some stranger posing as a friend at your school. So the other risk that our kids are at when they are communicating online is at risk of cyberbullying. And cyberbullying has become more and more of a problem as the years goes on. As the years go on. When I was growing up, for me, it was only in-person bullying. We didn't have cyberbullying. But now with technology and social media and the internet being constant companions, one of the biggest problems that comes with this is that it's all day, all night. Right? There's no escape. It used to be if you were being bullied at school, you could go home and you were free from it for a little while. School was the problem and everything else was okay. Now it's all the time, right? They can't escape it. And while both types of bullying, traditional and cyberbullying, do serious long-term damage, this has become more of a risk. And the long-term effects, because you have strangers who can view this, stuff can be left up there. It can be searched later in your life,
Even fake information about your child. They can, like nowadays with the technology, and they make it sounds real and look real. So cyberbullying is a big thing that is affecting our children nowadays, because before it was at school, just face to face. Now it's even strangers can bully on you. Oh, did they like my picture? Did they like the post I have? So this is like, it's a continuous bullying that it affects the students' self-esteem, and we need to pay attention to it.
And that's another thing that comes up, especially because a lot of our children are they call them influencers for a reason, right? Yeah. YouTube and social media influencers. They are influencing people, especially our children. And our kids want to copy that. They want to be influencers too. They want to make their own videos. They want to have their own YouTube channel, their own TikTok, and they're ready to go out there and post all that stuff. And we always say, don't read the comments, because those comments are mean. And so our kids are getting exposed to that kind of bullying through just comments on the videos that they post. So they want to be an influencer, but our children are not prepared and should not have to undergo that negative feedback.
So what are some signs that you can tell that your son might or daughter might be somebody's bullying them? There's some signs that you can see, like if you notice that your son is withdraw or sitting by themselves, they're not like socially with you, they like to spend more time on the internet, they're more like isolated. So there's things that you might need to look into. Is something going on? Do I need to see what's happening with my son and daughter? Do I need to watch where is he going? What's the website he's using? What game is he playing? Is there anybody interacting with them? So there's signs that can you as a parent see if my son is or my daughter is being bullied online. Cyberbullying is a big thing.
Yeah. And we get both things, right? We either get the secrecy and the obsession with screens where they can't pull themselves away from it, or they'll start avoiding it, right? They'll have loved to be on their screen all the time, and now all of a sudden they're scared of their phones. It just depends on the child, how they're going to respond to it. So, any sudden change is a sign that you need to check in. But one of the most important things is screenshot the evidence.
Yeah.
Because they will try to erase it as quickly as possible. And you want to make sure that you've got the evidence of what's going on, so that later, if you need to take actions, if you're able to take action with strangers and anonymous people online, it's a little harder. But if you're tracing it back to someone at school who's doing that, you want to be able to report that to school, where we can then step in and address it, because it is a serious thing that we do take seriously here and we do follow through on.
Yeah.
So let us know. If it's not with another person at school, you can talk to platform moderators. If it's a website where the kids are supposed to be there and they're okay to be there, then you can report the harassment. You can show the screenshots, and they can work on banning the person who's doing it, or otherwise getting rid of them. So as much as possible. One of the most important things, though, is the relationship you have with your child.
Yeah.
They have to feel comfortable coming to talk to you and letting you know. You want to encourage them to speak up if something has happened, to come to you and say, hey, this is bugging me. So make sure, we want to make sure that we're not just taking a punitive approach with how we address technology and the internet, because we want to make sure that our kids feel safe.
Yeah, you need to be the support system for your child, not the internet, not their friends online. It's you. So you need to build that relationship so your child or your daughter can feel free to come and talk to you if something is going on.
Yeah. So that's a super important part of this. So with all that scary stuff about bullying and predators and things like that, I'm going to go into the part of this that's a little more pleasant to talk about. And the part that's really important to me is the parental controls and tools. So what can we do to make sure our kids are staying safe, but also to make sure that their use of screen time is appropriate and not too much. Anyone who's worked with me or had a student in my class knows I love technology, right? I love to use online resources. I maintain password managers for my students so that parents have access to everything and the kids have access to everything. I think technology is great. I really do. I also know that we have to be very careful in what we use and how we use it and how much we use it for the health and safety of our kids. Part of that is using parental control and those kinds of tools. And while it's impossible for me to go into every detail for how to set up parental controls on every platform our kids use, I do want to share with you one of the most common. Many of us have iPhones, or our kids have iPads or Apple-related devices. So my family's all Apple. So I'm very familiar with Apple screen time. It's not a perfect system, but there are some pretty powerful tools with Apple that will let you monitor what your kids are doing, but even better, shut it down and prevent them from doing certain things. And that's really important. So at our house, we do no screens Monday through Thursday. If it's a school night, like Monday through Thursday, there are no
Very
screens.
important.
Only if there was online homework would my son be able to be on a screen, and only for that homework. That's it. No games, nothing like that Monday through Thursday, because he can't sleep. He can't stop what he's doing. He can't, he just can't shut down. And so we just don't. It's much easier. So he gets it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we enforce a bedtime too. His device goes into downtime and shuts down by 8:00 so that he can actually go to bed. And that way he can't be on it at night. So Apple screen time with their downtime is really helpful. You can set time limits for apps. So you can say, okay, I only want my kid playing Minecraft for an hour a day. After that, they need to do something else. You can say, okay, Minecraft, 1 hour. That's it, done. And you can block things. You can even block Safari if you don't want them just browsing the internet. You can restrict it so they can't install or delete applications. So you'll know what apps are on the phone at all times, because if they want to take something off or if they want to put something on, you have to go in and do it. They can't do that by themselves. You can turn off in-app purchases so they can't accidentally charge your credit card for all those coins and whatever game that they're playing. Gives you a fair amount of control.
Yeah.
Yep, I keep that shut off for a reason. Make it so that any purchase always requires a password. It takes
Screen shutdowns is very important, especially at night.
Mm-hmm.
Especially at night, like it's very important for you to implement it and use it for all the games and all the tools that you give your son or your child to work with. Screen shutdown, because a lot of students tend to wait till parents are asleep and they go and they start playing. So when you shut it down, you are in control.
Yeah, Ms. Fasha and I have sat through a number of meetings with parents who have mentioned their children having trouble sleeping, and sometimes a younger child who has the restrictions that are being enforced, they share a room with an older sibling. And their older sibling is on their device.
Yes.
And suddenly the younger child is seeing what's on the older sibling's device and is being kept up by what the older sibling is doing.
Yeah.
And that can be a big problem too. Before I show how to set up Apple screen time, I also want to say Google has their family link. Almost every video game system, we mentioned Xbox and Microsoft, but Nintendo has parental controls. There are also apps and services that you can purchase if you need broader control. One of the ones that I'm the most familiar with, now I haven't needed to purchase it yet because my son is too young to have a phone, but I've heard good things about Bark.
Yeah, it's a very good one.
Bark makes really good tutorials about setting up. And the one we're going to look at is actually from Bark about how to set up Apple screen time. But they have tutorials on how to set up parental controls for almost everything. And there's a link in this presentation, and we're going to share the links to all of these resources and the video that I'm about to share with you in a parent square message following this presentation so that you can go through and find all of the resources that we're talking about here. So we'll make those available to you. But Bark is a really strong one. There's a few others out there as well. You can do some research to see which one works best for your family and your devices, your needs. Bark, I know, also sells their own like watch and phone, but you don't need their watch and phone. You can install the app on other devices. So
we are going to see just like 5 minutes.
It's about 7 minutes long, and they're going to walk you through step by step how you would set up Apple Screen Time. And I want to take the moment to actually share this with you because their step-by-step details are so helpful. And they'll show you how to do it on the individual child's device. You can also manage from your own phone by making sure you have like a family sharing and that they have their children's Apple ID, which will then go to your phone. So you can do that as well.
I had a crazy idea. We were surprised that no one had done it before. Success?
Hi, it's Caroline from Bark, and today we're going to talk about how to set up Apple Screen Time. To get started, click Settings and then click Screen Time. Next, click Turn on Screen Time. Your phone will display a message explaining what Screen Time does. Click Continue. Next, click This is my child's iPhone. At this point, your phone will give you the option to set up a few of the Screen Time features. You can go ahead and do that now, or you may choose Not Now to set it up later. Finally, in order to complete the setup, choose a Screen Time passcode. You may also use family sharing to set up Screen Time. To get started, click Settings and then click your name. Next, click Add Family Member. You will notice a few options, including Invite via iMessage, Invite in person, or Create a Child Account. If your child does not have an Apple ID, you will need to create one now. Click Create a Child Account. To complete setup, enter your child's information. Now you will notice that your child has successfully been set up with an Apple ID. To turn on Screen Time, click Screen Time and click Turn on Screen Time. At this point, your phone will give you the option to set up a few of the Screen Time features. You can go ahead and do that now, or you may choose Not Now to set it up later. If your child already has an Apple ID, simply click Invite in Person and enter in their email and password. Now you will notice that your child has successfully been set up with an Apple ID. To turn on Screen Time, click Screen Time and click Turn on Screen Time. At this point, your phone will give you the option to set up a few of the Screen Time features. You can go ahead and do that now, or you may choose Not Now to set it up later. With Ask to Buy and family sharing, whenever a child initiates a new purchase or free download, the request goes to the family organizer. The organizer can review the item and approve the purchase or decline the request right from their iPhone, iPad, or iPad Touch. If the family organizer approves the purchase, the content downloads automatically to their family member's device. However, if they decline, no purchase or download will take place. Please note, the family organizer can turn on Ask to Buy for any family member who isn't an adult. It's on by default for any child under 13, and you will be asked to set up Ask to Buy when inviting anyone under 18. To permit iTunes and App Store purchases, go to Settings, then click Screen Time. Next, tap Content and Privacy Restrictions, then enter your passcode. Tap iTunes and App Store purchases, then choose a setting and set to Don't Allow. To restrict the built-in apps and features on the iPhone, first click Settings, next tap Screen Time, then tap Content and Privacy Restrictions. You will be prompted to enter your Screen Time passcode. Next, tap Allow Apps. From here, you may select the apps that you want to allow. Please note that if you turn off an app or feature, it won't delete it, it's just temporarily hidden from the home screen. For example, if you turn off Mail, the Mail app won't appear on the home screen until you turn it back on. To prevent explicit content and content ratings, click Settings, then tap Screen Time. Next, tap Content and Privacy Restrictions, then tap Content Restrictions. From here, you will be prompted to enter your screen time passcode. Next, choose the settings you want for each feature or setting under Allowed Store Content. There are several types of content that you can restrict, including ratings for movies, books, TV shows, and apps. You can also prevent the playback of music videos, podcasts, and news containing explicit content. Finally, you may prevent sharing what you're listening to with friends and seeing what they're listening to. With the release of iOS 13, you can now set limits for specific apps. To get started, click Screen Time and then click App Limits. Click Add Limit, enter your screen time passcodes, and then choose the app that you would like to limit. Your child will also be able to access social networking sites via Safari. So now's a good time to list those under websites. For example, your child is able to access Instagram on the web, even if their time limit has run out on the app. Downtime is a feature of Screen Time that allows you to set a schedule for time away from the screen for your children, including during meals or at bedtime. If your child tries to access their device during downtime, they can request more time from you. To get started, click Settings and then click Screen Time. Next, tap Downtime. You may choose from the following options. Set up the same downtime schedule for every day, or set up a different downtime for each day of the week. Apple has revamped its permission settings, which makes it more difficult for companies and developers to track where users are. This is especially relevant for families with children who are active on social media. Prior to this update, photos automatically included metadata that logged where they were taken. To turn on this feature, tap Settings, then tap Privacy, tap Location Services, then tap Camera, and under Allow Location Access, choose Never. In order to prevent your child from making changes to these parental control settings, tap Settings, then click Screen Time. Next, tap Content and Privacy Restrictions, then enter your passcode, and under Allow Changes, select the features or settings you want to allow changes to and choose Allow or Don't Allow. In addition to setting parental controls on your child's device, the next safety layer parents and caregivers should strongly consider is a monitoring solution to assess the content their kids encounter and produce online. By monitoring text messages, YouTube, email, and 24 more different social networks for potential safety concerns such as cyberbullying, self-harm, violence, sexual predators, and more, BARK allows busy parents to rest easier, knowing their kids are better protected from digital dangers. To sign up or learn more, please visit bark.us.
So of course they have to have their advertisement at the end. But
the link will be shared with you.
Yes, but sorry, it likes to autoplay. But the main thing with setting up that whole like don't allow your children to make changes, that's a really important feature. You go through all of that, make sure they can't go in and undo it. That screen time passcode is really important. So hopefully that's helpful, and we'll link that video directly, plus the page that has all of their tutorials that you can scroll through, because even with the ad at the end, it gives you a lot more control. And so like downtime, for example, if there's a day you don't want them to have access at all, you could set it, okay, so it's gonna do downtime for all but like just a couple minutes of the day. Usually I set it for when he's in school, so he can't, that won't even come up. And it's amazing because even now he's so used to those limits, he doesn't test the boundary anymore. My own son doesn't test the boundary anymore. He knows, and so he doesn't even try to go get on it. Like there's no point. And so he just lets it be. But one of the big things, and I did pull some of the actual research, and I'll link some of the pages that kind of back this up, is not all screen time is the same, right? We can't just, there's this tendency right now for people to go in and be like, oh, okay, screen time is bad. Let's just shut it down and turn off all the screens. That's not going to happen. Your kid's going to fight back. There's too many useful things. We don't want to shut down everything, but we do want to be mindful about the effect of what we're viewing and what we're interacting with, the effect that that has. We know for executive function, those are your thinking skills, right? Your ability to like get stuff done, to stay focused on a task, to follow through with things, to have that persistence when something is challenging. They have done quite a bit of research that shows that fast overstimulating shows or media content is actually linked to poor attention and self-control.
Yes.
There was a study, and it's linked to not necessarily directly here, but one of the first studies they did was where they had a bunch of young children either watch SpongeBob SquarePants, a slow-paced educational show, or just play creatively without a screen. And then they tested their executive function skills. And the students who, or the children, I should say, who viewed SpongeBob did really poorly.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones who viewed like a slower-paced educational show or played creatively did much better. So what we show them matters. And I saw this with my own kids. I see this with my students. If they're watching a lot of short form video, if they're watching those frenetic, like those frantic, high energy cartoon shows, suddenly they're all riled up. They're anxious. They can't focus. Whereas if you're watching something slower and more meaningful, then they come away from that feeling like they've gotten something positive and they do better. We are an elementary school here, but we have preschoolers, and as we get younger and younger, if we do too much high screen use, especially of passive content, they score lower on executive skills, and they have a harder time focusing. We've also found for behavior and emotional regulation, more screen exposure is associated with behavioral and socio-emotional problems, and age-inappropriate content is going to predict more stress, aggression, and poor regulation.
Yeah.
And we see this a lot. And of course, the younger kids want to watch what their older siblings are watching. They want to see what the big kids are doing. And we see this stuff trickle down. Our lovely 6'7" meme that's very popular right now. Even if the young ones didn't see the original, they've heard their older siblings or other students doing it, and now they're all doing it, whether they know it or not. So context matters. Watch with them. See what they're watching. They shouldn't be talking about stuff that they're watching and you're like, what is that? I have no idea. Make sure you're watching with them, because then you can tell for sure whether this is good programming or not. My son started watching a cartoon on Disney Plus. It's Disney Plus, right? What am I worried about on Disney Plus? But his behavior when he was watching it was started to get really bad. I watched it with him and I was like, nope, we're not watching this show anymore. This is not a good choice.
Very important to sit and watch with your kids.
Make sure you know what they're watching.
Another thing that is really missed, it's mealtime.
Yes.
Mealtime is mealtime. It's time for us to sit and talk, have conversation. Yeah. No tablets, no TV shows, no any distraction.
How many of us are sitting at the table?
Have a family connection.
We're all doing this, right? We're sitting at the table.
And even you see it when... Yeah, yeah. It's like it's a lost thing. You go to a restaurant and you see two people sitting, one on the phone and the other on the phone, and they're not even having conversation.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So meal time is family time.
Mm-hmm.
It's family time.
Yep.
Like you need to sit with no distraction.
We also emphasize that social engagement. When we talk about the cyberbullying and some of these issues our kids are having socially, one of the reasons we're having social problems is they're not getting time to practice interacting with other people. They're so engrossed in their screen that they're losing out on that social interaction piece, especially face-to-face contact. Like, they don't know what to look at. They don't know how to look at somebody. They don't know how to read body language. Like, they're losing a lot of those skills because they don't get time to practice. So we want to make sure their eyes have a break from the screens. It's not a no screen. It's just setting to make sure we're not just doing background, that it's not always on all the time. So what can parents do? Choose age-appropriate, educational, and slower-paced content. I know in our house, we don't allow, that changed its formatting. We don't allow YouTube at all with our son because it's just, there's not enough control. So if there's something to watch on YouTube that I want to show him or that he wants to see, he can ask me, I can pull it up and decide whether or not he can watch it.
Best way is to watch with your son.
Yep.
And there's a lot of nice educational, like help the students develop the needed skills that you can sit and watch with your son and discuss it. And, what do you like about it? Can we do the experiment together? Stuff like that, that is really helpful to your son or daughter. So you can pick, you can choose the right things that you watch and sit and watch with your son or your daughter. It's a good way to do it.
And when we watch with your child and talk about what they see, not only is that building good, use of technology, but that's going to carry over academically too, because those comprehension conversations that you have about media, it's the same thing you do when you read. So the more you talk about what you're seeing and what you think about it, critical thinking skills, how are they trying to persuade you? Talk about those advertisements. What are they trying to get you to do? How do you know that? They're trying to sell you this product. How do you know this product is any good? Are you just going to take their word for it? What are you going to, those critical thinking skills don't just have to come from assignments your teacher gives you, right? And says you go do this. They can come from this too. They should come from this too. They're going to watch media. Compare it to them. If they're watching something that was based on a book, watch the movie and read the book. See how they compare.
Outdoor activities. You choose outdoor activities, do outdoor activities with your son and daughter. Like when we had a snow day, go outside, build a snowman, do fun things with them. Like we can choose to do fun things with our kids. Reading time, have a reading time. Like at the end of the day, before going to bed, they should pick a book and sit and read, and you model it to them. You sit and read. They're going to sit and read. So modeling the right behavior, it also will help your child and your daughter.
Yeah, and that's another big thing. The research suggests that kids need quite a few hours outside every day. And most kids are lucky if they get 20 to 30 minutes. But there is a lot of research that suggests kids need 5-6 hours. Practically, we can't always do that, especially living in Michigan in the winter. I'm not sending my kid out for 5 or 6 hours in the snow and the cold. It's, we have to be practical. But as much outdoor time, that natural light, that fresh air, it makes a big difference. And it helps them calm down. It helps their nervous systems just calm down, helps them regulate. Outdoor play, especially creative, unstructured outdoor play, is fantastic. There is nothing like that.
The way we grow.
So turning our screens off, balancing that digital time,
outside,
reading, outdoor play, all of that. So it's not that we can't have our screens. It's that we just have to be very careful in how we use the screens and what we view on the screens. And part of it, what I like about parental controls is let's be realistic. As parents, we can't be over every kid's shoulder every day. As much as we want to be, we've got things to do too. Our kids, sometimes it's something to keep them occupied. And sometimes we just have too many kids, and we can't be with all of them at once. So those parental controls, they're an extra layer of security, right? It's something that can hold the limits when you can't physically hold the limits for them. So healthy screen time habits, 3 really easy habits. Have tech-free zones. Bedrooms, big one. Don't let your kid run into their bedroom with their stuff. If they're going to be playing on their devices, they should be out in a communal area. They can't hide stuff if they're not hidden away in another room. Also, that nighttime bit that we talked about, your kids, the devices should be plugged into. What you can do is do a charging station in the kitchen. Okay, all the devices are going to bed in the kitchen here, and nobody's on their devices, so nobody's sneaking anything in the middle of the night. And even
put your phones away.
Even if you so we use their iPads to play music when they fall asleep because our kids like sleep time music. We have little Bluetooth speakers. So the Bluetooth speaker can play in their room while the device is out in the kitchen in the charging station. So they don't have the device, but the music is there. So that's an option. Dinner table, of course, should be a tech-free zone. We really want to start modeling that social communication. Screen swaps are a really good idea. Okay, it's all right, so we're going to take a 30-minute break from our screens. We're going to go play outside for 30 minutes. And then when you come back, then you can go back. But forcing those breaks or having that swap, where you just swap out some of what they're doing or take those breaks. And then make it a point, even if you can't view with them all the time, make it a point to sit down with them and have them show you, invite them to show you what they want to watch with you at least once a week with each kid. Just take a little bit of time, watch what they're watching, listen to what they're talking about. And it doesn't have to be like a power struggle, right? If you're inviting them to participate with you, we want you to make sure that you're asking them. Don't accuse them. It's like, why are you watching that? No. Well, what do you like about Roblox? What's your favorite part of that? And if they're telling you what they're excited about, you can see, is there a way that we can balance this safely, or is there an alternative that will help, meet the same need or interest? Make sure you're listening to them before you just come down with the hammer and set the rules. Listen to them. What do they want and why? Try to kind of get, like, we call it going upstream, like try to figure out what's causing the behavior, what's causing the interest. You can create a tech contract, and I've got a sample that I'll show you in just a moment, where you're kind of going, what are the agreements about the technology in our household? What are we all agreeing to? And make sure to reassure them. You're here to help them, not to punish them. This is not, I know I tell my kids all the time, like, listen, I'm not doing this because I want to be like mean. I'm doing this because as a parent, as your mom, it is my responsibility to keep you safe. It's my responsibility to help you form habits until you're ready to take over that yourself, because you're a child. That's not your responsibility. It's mine. So you don't have to be the bad guy to yourself. I'm going to take that responsibility. Yeah. So we have, with some of our resources, remember, this is a daily conversation. It's not a one-time thing. You can't just talk about it once and run away. We want to make sure that you're constantly checking in. And the tools are there to support you, but ultimately your relationship with your kid is the most important thing.
And you know that you're not alone. The school can help you. The community can help you. There is a lot of online help. So there is a lot of support. And if you feel like you need extra support, we are here to help. So you're not alone.
And so some of the links, and we'll share these out in Parent Square. Common Sense Media is great. They have so much information about online bullying. They have information about movies and popular television shows. If you want to know, like, what kind of content is in this thing that my kid is viewing, you can look it up on there and it'll tell you about it. Like, what are some of the things that might be questionable? I've used it as a teacher to decide if something was a good fit for a lesson. Before I even go and watch it myself, I'll check here, because there can be some red flags that be like, nope, I'm not even going to waste my time watching that, because I can already tell this is not going to be what I want. And then if it says like some things that are okay, then I'll go watch it myself, because I will never show my students something I haven't watched first, ever. And as a parent, that's a choice that we usually try to make, is to make sure we view ahead of time. This is the link that's the guides to setting up parental controls on Bark. So it goes through, depending on what system it is, it'll have quite a few. And then as you get to the end, you can expand it. It'll go down even further. But I wanted to show you this sample tech agreement. This is actually from Common Sense Media. And it's a family media agreement. So it does things like how to take care of the actual devices, the technology itself. We want our kids to be responsible with the devices. Those things are expensive. We don't want them being careless with them, but also understanding, unless I have paid for a device with my own money or it was a gift, I understand that it belongs to the family member who bought it. So who does it really belong to? Staying safe about, I will not create accounts or give out private information. Things like that. Thinking first about how we're going to interact with other people. And there's room to add your own if there's more that you want to add.
All
to
these links will be shared with you.
Yep. How to stay balanced, how to communicate. But it also has a point where you, as the family, are agreeing to recognize that media is a big part of their lives, even if you don't always understand why. To talk with me about what worries them and why before saying no. So all of those things we talked about with relationship, that's built into this as well.
And it makes you feel like we are together in it. It's not like I and you, it's both of us.
So that way it's kind of a team effort. So that is one of our options there. So I believe.
Yep.
All right.
So but all these links, we are gonna try to get them and post them in Parent Square, and it's like you can click on it and you can download or complete. It will help you. it's
Yep.
a helpful
And I'll share
resources.
directly the link to the video that we watched, in addition to the link to their page with all the other
Yes.
videos. Because I know not everybody is screen time, but screen time is just one of the most common, especially with our kids having iPads, because iPads are built into that, even if you don't have an iPhone.
We have
I-
like some time if you guys have any questions, any concerns.
They just show the models for the Apple devices.
No, they have it for everything. They have it for Google, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch.
I'm the Apple person. I know, like,
which is totally fine. Not everybody is.
Okay.
on Samsung, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
no,
I
and
mean,
they have
there
for
is.
Samsung.
There
They
is.
actually go through Google for Samsung.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
of
so
all of
there's-
that is on there as well. The Bark tutorials are really well done.
How are you gonna see me here? I'm gonna bring you all the devices.
All the devices to set up. And
Yes, boys.
honestly, I'm always available to answer questions. And I do my best to answer with what I know. I do love working with technology, but I also know how important it is. I can't always pay attention to what my kids are doing. So having those limits.
That's very true.
But honestly, like the videos, the tutorial they have, they show you step by step how to do it.
How to
For
do it.
both,
really need it
for both,
because
not just for
you know,
Apple.
like,
Yeah.
I'm a student,
It
so
show you like
I
step by step.
study.
Honestly, it's very good thing to go look at it and do it
I need it.
with all like the iPads and whatever your son is using, the gaming that they're doing, and it shows you step by step.
And they have the game systems. Like I have, my son has a Switch. So I have parental controls set up on the Switch. And so I can adjust it when he wants time on the Switch. And they do the same thing. I can set how much time he can play each day.
Yeah.
So Monday through Thursday, it's set to 0 minutes. It has a bedtime. The only thing with their bedtime is unlike downtime where you can set it to any time, their bedtime, the earliest is 4 p.m. And then, you can set it all the way to like midnight. And then you can decide how early you want it to wake up. Is it 6 a.m. the next morning, 7 a.m., like what time the next morning for when it comes back. But they do have, you can set for a certain number of minutes or you can set for unrestricted. So, we have balances. There are times that I have to limit him, like, nope, 2 hours and you're done. And then there are times that we do unrestricted so he can come in and out. Because sometimes one of the problems he'll have is he'll leave it on. And then that's using up his minutes. Or his sister will try to steal it, or I'll ask him to do something, and then he gets mad because he's losing his minutes. So we're it just depends. But that's where the relationship comes in, right? Where we kind of pick and choose.
You have any?
So I have I thought that was really good, the Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Say like no screen time.
No screens.
So does that mean on like the weekends would be the time to do like anything on like IXL or something like that?
So it all depends. So like I said, if my son was getting online homework, I would allow him to access a screen purely for homework. I do it for no like gaming, no watching, things like that. That's where I set it for Monday through Thursday. Now his school doesn't assign homework generally, or very minimal homework. They have a different position on homework than we have here. But for something like that, I would let him practice on that for a limited amount of time, but that would have to be done at the table where I am. So he's not like secretly going over and browsing on something else.
Like when you do the limits and the blockage, you can let them do school, because let's be real, it's nowadays everything is on technology. So they can do the school work, but they will not sneak in and go like when you're not looking and playing their
Right.
games.
And you can do that. Like if, for example, if they have an iPad and they're doing their IXL through their iPad, you can make IXL always allowed
Yes.
and block everything else.
Yeah.
And so that
So
way
you
they
can
can
do that.
only
You have
do their
control.
IXL. And things like that. But, and it also depends on how you want to balance it. I know, like in my classroom, I do the homework weekly. So they get it on Monday and it's due on Friday. So you could have one night be your IXL night. Like we're going to do all 4 IXL skills for the week, one night, and that's the tech. And then we're not going to do the screens the rest of the week. And that way you can limit it a little bit more if that makes it easier for you to control. But I do find the behavior is significantly improved.
Yes.
When we do not allow those screens Monday through Thursday, he goes to sleep better.
Yeah.
He gets up better in the
It
morning.
affects a
Like
lot.
it's just much,
Takes a lot.
much better. Yes.
Yeah.
No screen time all the week,
Mhm.
on the weekends, and they play together. And I always say, like, look at them, how they are playing and creating games.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
nice. That's
They
amazing.
themselves.
Watching the Lego creations that come from my son during the week, because he has that time, or the tracks that he builds. The hardest thing is the 3-year-old trying to knock his stuff down. we have to sometimes have separated play spaces so that she's not, because she's the terror for his builds. But no, and I mean, we're not going to be perfect. You know, have I let my kids have screens at the table sometimes? If it's the difference between them eating or not eating, sure. Because my children don't like to eat. So sometimes, you know, we do what we have to do. It's not about being perfect, right? We say progress, not perfection. Just do the best you can.
As much as you can.
Limited as much as you can.
Limited as much as you can.
Encourage other things. Also table manners.
Yeah.
Putting those devices away when they're at their table, so that you have the opportunity to
Yeah.
model and teach table manners.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
So my thing is, for my daughter, she's an only child, and I work full time with my husband. So like sometimes, like I have a hybrid job, so I'm working on my screen. So she's always seeing that, and I want to be like, okay, like I don't want to also give her a screen too, because then she just gets out of control of it. Like after the next video, and she doesn't want to stop. She's like, oh, I'm like, she doesn't understand.
And they're designed for that.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, do you have like advice on like what are some like good activities that she can do?
So a couple of things that I found to be really successful: coloring activities or crafting activities at the table, because then they're sitting at a table and they're doing that work like you are, but instead of through a screen, they're doing actual creative, engaging play. Building toys, anything that they can build.
Puzzles.
Yeah.
Puzzles, yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, puzzles, Duplo Legos or regular Legos, Magnetiles. They love to play with Magnetiles.
Give them like projects to do, things to do, like create something, like for example, a puzzle that she can complete, like Legos that she can build, like a small car or a small toy, Play-Doh. Like give her things to keep her interactive.
I don't know if you know the name specifically, kinetic sand.
Kinetic sand. I was actually just about to mention that.
Kinetic sands.
Yeah, that's on their gift list this year. Yeah, is kinetic sand. Kinetic sand, honestly, and I hate math. I hate math. Play-Doh drives me nuts because it is so messy. But kinetic sand,
you do it with it.
Kinetic sand sticks together. It does not dry out. It feels good in the hands. I like kinetic sand. Yeah, kinetic sand. And my kids just like watching. My son's really into space, and so he'll build planets, and and then he'll like smash them apart and just have fun with that. So yeah,
and some of them like castles. And
and they have like the molds
really
you can
nice
build.
ones.
A lot of the stuff that you can do with Play-Doh, you can do with kinetic sand, and it's less messy and it doesn't dry out. But so when the kids forget to put the lid on, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Even with Play-Doh, I love Play-Doh. It's okay. You make it with them. Let them have fun.
Listen, I'm just doing all my shopping and I'm going through all the toys, and I'm like, we have more Magnetiles and Legos and Duplos and building blocks and train tracks and all of the creative stuff. Like, I just don't even know what else to get because we have
a lot.
Also, because I have discovered that a lot with working with kids and my kids, my own. Like, you don't have to give everything.
Yeah.
Like, the kids will get bored.
Yes.
You always have a strategy.
Yes.
Give something.
Yes.
Okay, when they are bored, you give something else.
Yeah.
Rotate your toys as much as you can. Yeah. If you put something away for a while, like we have some stuff stored out in the garage, my son will see it after a month and he'll be like, I want to play with that. And it's like, okay, now the interest is back. Whereas before he could have, just ignored it. So rotating the toys, that creative play, but also teaching our kids how to be bored and what to do with that. I know we're so busy scheduling, but
hey, find something to.
They need to. Yeah, they need to learn, and that's why I like that unstructured outdoor play. Like, just go outside and play.
Yep.
I know when I was a kid, my parents used to kick me out on nice days. They're like, nope, go outside and play.
I know.
Don't bother me. Don't come in.
All the tools.
If you're thirsty, that's what the hose is for. Like I had a little bit of an old school upbringing. But yeah, no, they did. And I learned how to be bored. I was an only child. So I learned how to be bored outside. And and how to
You
entertain
become
myself.
creative.
Yeah,
find
you learn how
things
to be
make-
creative.
yeah,
You tell your own
become
stories.
The opposite for us. We were begging our parents to go out. Please, please. And they were, we're not staying home all the day outside, and maybe just till we're gonna go to sleep. The only time we're going home. Now you got the child. Please go outside.
Yeah, go, goodbye. So no, just
Thank you, please take us home.
and I think, once you'll get a lot of pushback if you're changing your rules to where you're saying, hey, no screens on these nights, we're going to really focus. You will get some pushback at first. There's going to be a lot of, upset about that because they're used to being able to do it, but they do adapt. It takes a little bit of time and they'll actually feel better. And the more they feel better, that's going to really help. So
Thank you so much for joining us.
yeah, really
And,
appreciate having you.
thank you.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad.
Hopefully that
And if
was
you have any
helpful.
questions,
Thank
feel
you. If
free
you
to
have
send
any
me a
questions, we are
message.
available.
We're
Thank you
always
so
available.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's Mboyce, MBOICE.
Thank you. Bye, cutie.
Like that?
Yep, like that at niapsa.org.
There's some.
I know it's going to want to autocorrect it. All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
والله حلوة بس عن جد
niapsa.org.
أنا عندي على السامسونج عملت لها
HES Academies have been serving the Detroit metro area for over 23 years, promoting academic excellence, leadership, and cultural diversity, ranking as some of the top schools in the state of Michigan. Our pre-K through 12th grade students enjoy tuition-free, state-accredited education by STEM certified and highly qualified staff with no geographical restrictions, and with advanced placement, college dual enrollment, scholarship, and Arabic language programs. Noor International Academy in Sterling Heights at niapsa.org, Star International Academy in Dearborn Heights and in Canton at starpsa.org, Universal Academy in Detroit at universalpsa.org, and Universal Learning Academy in Westland at ulapsa.org. Join HES Academies today and enjoy a free Chromebook for every enrolled student.